The Mark of the Beast. As I strolled alongside my grandmother at the nearby mall, a peculiar idea struck me. Without hesitation, I turned to her and casually mentioned, "I'm contemplating inserting a microchip into my palm." She almost had a heart attack. Obviously, I knew what her response would be, but sometimes you just say provocative things to see if the outcome is as expected. Some cultures are very literal cultures, meaning that symbolic and metaphorical gestures are mostly ignored. I remember the one criminologist in South Africa saying on the TV that the devil must first be ruled out as a suspect before the investigation continues. Today, I don't want a literal interpretation. I want to explore this mythical text in a deeper, more meaningful way. The verse in question today is Revelation 13, verse 16 to 18. He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is a man's number. His number is 666. But more specifically, I want to focus on the part where it says to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark. This obviously refers to monetary economics and the use thereof. I want to focus on the interpretation of it and the symbolic and metaphorical use thereof, especially in a theological context. When dissecting a Bible verse, it's essential to understand the context in which it is given. In Revelation 13, John envisions a sea beast with 10 horns and 7 heads, representing Satan, worshipped by people. Another earthly beast serves the first, persuading people to worship through deceitful signs. Now, if taken literally, this is obviously an apocalyptic scene. But when taken figuratively and symbolically, the text in Revelation 13 is often interpreted as an allegory representing spiritual and moral challenges. The beast rising from the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads may signify a powerful force opposing the divine order. The worship of this beast reflects the allure of false ideologies or worldly temptations. The second beast suggests deception and manipulation, restricting buying or selling, symbolizes monetary control. Overall, these symbols are thought to convey spiritual truths and the trials faced by those challenged by false beliefs. The literal interpretation of Revelations is not a new concept. Throughout biblical history, anticipation of the second coming has been a long-standing expectation. It was expected that the second coming would happen in the year 1000, and all the churches that were built in this time frame reflected this fact. Most churches were built small and out of wood, as it was not necessary to build big towers if the earth was going to be abandoned in a few years. The book of Revelations has also seen an uptake in popularity because of social media streaming bad and provocative news 24/7. The world has always been struck by tragedies. The only difference now is that we are constantly being updated on the news. Whereas in the 1600s, the only news you knew of was that of your immediate vicinity. Now on the microchip in the hand. During the time of the writing of the book of Revelations, the Roman Empire was a dominant political and cultural force in the region. Some have proposed that the number 666 could be a symbolic reference to a specific Roman emperor, Nero. Nero comes from a form of gematria associated with the Hebrew alphabet an ancient practice of assigning numerical values to letters. His name in Greek can be associated with the numerical value of 666. When the Greeks first started using gold coins with images and inscriptions that reflected the reigning emperor, many thought this was the mark of the beast, because the refusal of using the gold coins would lead to a person not being able to participate in the economy. I've been working in retail for the last few months, and what I've noticed is that the new feature on the credit cards, the tapping the card on the card machine, is very unpopular with older people. They insist on inserting the card into the machine. But ironically, their parents didn't allow the use of a credit card to start with, preferring only paper bills and coins. And their parents didn't like the use of bills and coins, and preferred using rare metals such as gold or silver. And their parents didn't like the using of metals, but preferred using trade, such as a chicken or a cow. So based on this, the same can be true of a microchip in the palm. It wouldn't be much different than the current situation we are in with smartphones. They are constantly alongside us. We go everywhere with them, eat, sleep, and communicate with them. And most notably, we participate in economic trade. And without a phone, you are not allowed to participate. Everywhere you go, your phone number and email is required. Is this so much different than a microchip? Our smartphone might as well be physically attached to us. A mark, if you will. Every iteration of a new monetary mode is seen as the mark of the beast. And this makes the interpretation of this biblical verse very challenging. It's important to note that Christian churches lie on a spectrum similar to that of politics. The more conservative churches see this passage in Revelations as a literal apocalypse, whereas more liberal churches take a more symbolic and metaphorical approach to the verse. So, as always, it's left open for interpretation. It hasn't been solved in the last 2000 years, so the chances are slim it'll happen now. Thank you for watching. This video is a bit different than my normal philosophy videos, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Hope to see you again.